Hey everyone, this is going to be a real short video, but I just wanted to cover this topic at a CBC about the Canada adds 11,000 jobs in July. The jobless rate ticks down to 6.3%. So fewer people looking for work pushes jobless rate down 2 ticks to 6.3%. So, get into this whole manipulation of numbers and how the whole economic modeling as far as unemployment and employment is concerned. Well, it's been completely manipulated and distorted to the point where they're not even taking into account so many different variables, which you've probably heard from not just people like myself, but others where, the actual workforce participation rate, right? So unemployment, when they're talking about unemployment rates, it's in correlation to the workplace participation rate. So you could have, let's say 60% of the entire population of the country actually participating in the workforce, but as long as 50 plus or whatever percent of them, it looks like that can be correlated into 90% or 90 plus percent of the workforce actually actively participating. But they're forgetting about the whole other 40% that aren't counted in those equations. But the big number that I wanted to get into, forget all that stuff. That's stuff I've covered in past videos and I'll cover in subsequent videos. This one, the part that I wanted to get to though, the numbers I wanted to point out is July's figure means the Canadian economy has added more than 387,000 jobs in the past 12 months. That's the strongest 12-month figure in a decade. So let's get this. Let's point this out, and I'll make sure to include the article that will point out the discrepancy and the glaring hypocrisy of all this bullshit, so that you'll be able to see with your own eyes visually. It's like, So they're saying that over the course of this year, that the Canadian economy has added 87,000 jobs. But think about, in the last 12 months, how many immigrants were brought to this country. We all know that it was in excess of 300 to 350,000 that were brought to this country, right? Those were the legal immigrants that the central planners brought to this country. Add in and that doesn't count the 25 to 30,000 Syrian refugees. So you're already between 300, 350,000. Add in another 25 or 30,000. So you're already up into the 380,000 range, or 330 to 380,000 range, right? Depending on those numbers, how exact they are. But then add into that equation all these thousands and thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers, and you're already, as you're seeing. So all these jobs that were created, and we know that a vast majority of them are part-time, low-wage service jobs. Who's going to probably assume the roles and responsibilities and take a lot of these positions, right? Might it be some of these 380, 70, 80, or up to 400,000 newcomers to Canada? I mean, if you have almost 400,000 newcomers to Canada, when you're talking about illegal, legal, or asylum seekers, or all this mass immigration and all these newcomers, if you add them and they're almost to 400,000, and the economy has only created 387,000 new jobs, is there any real net benefit for Canadians? No. As a matter of fact, not only the numbers not showing net benefit, but wage suppression is going to be proven it's going to stagnate Canadians' ability to challenge or compete in the marketplace to raise and elevate wages, because these newcomers aren't going to be on that level, folks. Hello, Canada. These newcomers are going to be more than willing to take jobs at a much lower rate of pay than you are. That's just a reality. That's just something that you cannot deny, or you can, but it just means you're covering your eyes, covering your eyes and plugging your ears and pretending that reality doesn't exist. So as we're seeing, all of this supposed job growth has not been any benefit. It's been a net negative. And even if they're not ones taking the job, well, if they're not taking the job, then they're assuming more of your resources or your own productive capacities in the form of welfare or wealth redistribution by the state. So no matter how you look at it, whether they're taking your jobs or competing for your homes, right? Or just sponging up and assuming and accumulating more and more of your productive capacity in the form of welfare or wealth redistribution, it's a net negative. It's a net negative in every aspect of the word for the average Canadian citizen. This is something I need you to understand, folks. It's very important that you do. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.